Hey YouTube, it's Adrian. Just before we get you to this video, do me a favor and head over to pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and I would love for you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make a pageant industry that is safe, transparent, and fair. I know it's like that most of the time, but over the last year, it's become very evident that it's not like that all of the time. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, put in your email address, and let's get you to this.
Hi, my name's Jen Atkin. I'm Miss Great Britain 2020, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project. God, I forgot where I was. I've been inside too long. And I have with me a very special guest tonight for me, today for you, Jen. Jen Atkin, Miss Great Britain 2020. Jen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, Jen, why don't we start with the easy question? I've just been doing my research on you, so I found the was it Good Morning Britain, that TV segment you did? Right.
Yes, it was Good Morning Britain. Yeah.
Right. As you know now, I'm not from the UK. I'm from Australia, so I was looking at that, going, I think I recognise that show. Isn't it normally Piers Morgan that's supposed to be taking that show?
So they take it in turns, obviously, because people need days off. But
Right.
I've been on Good Morning Britain twice now, and I've
Wow.
unfortunately not had the chance to meet him. I've been with Ben Shepherd, which is great, by the way. I love Ben Shepherd. But I've been with Ben Shepherd every time. But I would really like to be on with Piers Morgan at some point.
How do you think you'd find Piers Morgan? Because he is very polarizing, obviously. There's some people who love him, some people who hate him. On the spectrum, why would you be excited to be on with him?
Oh, I just love him so much. I love his opinions, and I love how he gets them across. And he's very pro pageant. Obviously, he was Miss World in December last year, and I think I'd like him. I think he'd quite like me as well.
I did hear that about, wasn't he actually at Miss World? Was he actually asking the interviewees some questions on stage?
Yeah, he was, and I just love him. I think he's very pro pageant anyway, so I think he'd be quite supportive of me if we were on the show together.
Hopefully.
But I just find him hilarious. I find him so funny.
I guess I do love the fact I respect anyone who will speak their mind unapologetically. And he certainly does that. But Jen, for maybe the 1% or the 5% or 10% who are tuning in now who don't know who you are, can I get you to give us a rundown of your pageant history from where it began to where you are sitting in front of us today with that amazing crown on your head?
Of course. Okay, so my pageant journey started in 2017. I went for Miss Great Grimsby 2017, and I came first runner-up. And I remember just crying my eyes out and falling into the arms of Steph and Elaine. So Steph Hill and Elaine, and I was absolutely over the moon. And so I went for Miss Yorkshire later that year, and I won. And that got me into the Miss England finals, where I won the sports round, which was a huge achievement for me. And and then I competed again for Miss Great Grimsby the year after, and I came second runner-up, which I was quite devastated about. But I went for the semi-finals anyway, and I managed to come second place in Miss England, behind Alicia Cowie, who is one of my very good friends now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so proud of myself for coming second, so pleased. And then I decided to go for Miss Great Britain because I got married last year, so I couldn't do Miss England again. So I went for Miss Great Britain as Miss Lincolnshire, and I was just pleased to be Miss Lincolnshire, to be honest. I was just pleased to be a married woman with a Miss title, and I had a whale of a time, made so many friends, and I won the personality round of Miss Great Britain, which was incredible because I'm the goofiest person ever. You know, I'm unapologetically myself all the time, and I just had so much fun. And then I managed to win the 75th anniversary final of Miss Great Britain, which was, I still want to cry talking about it now. Obviously, that was only a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't register in my brain that I could be Miss Great Britain, but here I am. It's crazy. So yeah, I ended my pageant, well, for now, my pageant career as Miss Great Britain. So I'm really pleased with that.
You say ended. Are you 120% certain it's ended? Because when I talk to pageant queens, and I've interviewed a lot of them, unless there's some definitive catastrophic reason why they can't compete, it's never say never.
For now, I am just 100% putting my life into Miss Great Britain, and maybe a few years down the line, I might go for Mrs. Galaxy, because Galaxy was so much fun. I absolutely adored it. I've never been to a Galaxy pageant before, and I had a whale of a time. So maybe in a few years' time, I might do it just for a laugh. But yeah, I'm quite happy at the moment just with this amazing title, and yeah, all of this crazy.
Can you speak to us a little bit, because obviously a lot of the people watching will be Galaxy contestants or Galaxy queens, because I've interviewed a lot of queens from that system. How did you find, obviously you were a judge there, how did you find your first time at UK Galaxy?
Oh, I just had the best time ever. I've obviously been in pageants around 3 years, and I've never been to a Galaxy pageant before. I've never really been to any other pageants besides Miss England and Miss Great Britain. And judging Galaxy was the best experience. And I truly feel like after the Galaxy weekend, I'm a proper pageant girl now and meeting everyone. And it's so crazy because I've been stalking these queens and contestants for years, and to finally meet the likes of Kaylee and Rebecca, and it was unreal. And I was running up to people like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" But really, that had been the first time and that I'd ever met them. And it's crazy. This pageant world is crazy. The people you meet, even just on social media, and just to meet them in real life and be there at the final, as well as judging, was just incredible. And I feel like myself and the judges picked the best queens. It was the best results, and I want to wish them all the best of luck for their reign as well. I'm so glad we can all reign together.
It is a very strong year for UK pageantry, all things considered. Jen, was that your first time judging a pageant, or had you judged a pageant before?
I've judged Miss England heats before,
Right.
and just little pageants, but that was the first sort of big pageant that I had judged. But I definitely went in knowing what I wanted as the winner, and I really just wanted someone to just walk on and be a big ball of fun and come into interview, know what they're about. And the winners just absolutely slayed it all. They were just, all the winners were just the full package. And I just know they're going to have an amazing year, just like I hope I do too. But yeah, I had the best time. And hopefully one day I can do Mrs. Galaxy. And who knows?
I'm sure there'll be more than a few people keen for you to give the Galaxy system a go, maybe apart from the people who would be competing against you. But Jen, can you give us an idea, because obviously the title you're holding is a huge one. You've been on TV, as we've talked about twice already. Can you give the people watching an idea as to how your life has changed, if it has at all, since winning the crown, or are you still essentially and completely the same person that you were previous?
As a person, I'm still exactly the same goofy, 100-mile-per-hour kind of person. But no, as soon as I won, there was heaps and heaps of press. There was such a buzz. I was in national newspapers. I was in international newspapers. I had calls from different places around the whole of the world wanting to film. I did ITV, BBC, lots of different. Oh, sorry about that. Lots of different magazines and newspapers, which was incredible. And I'm still lucky enough to, even through this lockdown, have calls from press wanting to do different things, which is incredible. So yeah, it's just been crazy. It's been a huge ball of fun, and I can't wait till the lockdown finishes so I can just get back into it and just go and see everyone, travel the country, and just really just make the most of my
Yeah.
year, because I feel like I've really earned it, and I really just want to walk out of my title knowing that I'd done everything I wanted to do. So
Yeah.
can't wait for lockdown to finish.
I think all of us are with you on that one. Jen, obviously, as you said, you only won the title a couple of months ago, and obviously 2020 has not been the year that anyone could have predicted. And it's probably very early to ask you this, but in terms of, you've had a lot of press requests, you've talked to a lot of queens, you already have a lot of people at Galaxy, for example, coming up wanting to have their photos with you. What are the 1, 2, or 3 things that you'd most like to be remembered for once this reign, in any case, once this reign is over?
Okay, so I'm also a country singer, and I'm working on my second single, which was written by Stephen Manley. And once that's released, I would really love to be at least top 3 in the country chart. And I really would like to be known as the Miss Great Britain who had a #1 single. That would be incredible. But other than that, really just the thing is, I'm not a typical pageant girl. I love fishing. I'm goofy. Like, I honestly, I'm just not as stereotypical, I guess. But I guess that's an amazing reason why. All of us pageant girls are trying to break stereotypes, and it's great to have a queen who is goofy and crazy and passionate like I am, and I really hope that other girls see this and think, wow, that's not what I thought a pageant queen would be like, and hopefully other girls will feel like they can enter and win, because I never thought I would win. Absolutely not. But here I am, and I guess it's just being about being your true self, and I would like to be known as, I don't know, I always get told that I'm a lot like Kat Hodge, Miss England 2009, and to me that is a huge compliment. So if I could be known like her, that would be great.
I haven't met or talked to Kat yet. She certainly does seem like someone who would speak their mind. I mean, you've mentioned Stephanie Hill as well, and I've interviewed her, and she's lovely to interview. She's not short of a word or two, of an opinion or two. But I'm glad you brought up the singing, because I wanted to get to it. You've released a single previously, Unboyfriendable. That was the title, wasn't it? I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right, and I just listened to it now, and I don't know if you ever have this when people listen to you and then compare you to someone else, but just out of interest, has anyone compared your voice to any other singers, country singers or otherwise?
I think the problem is with country in the UK is everyone sort of associates country with country and western, Dolly Parton and people like that. So people just always say, oh, Dolly Parton, because it's the only female country singer they know.
That's not the one that cropped up in my mind.
Oh, well, a lot of people from America have sort of said Carrie Underwood. But other than that, I've not really had many people say I sound like another country singer.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it.
I can see because I actually love country music, like some of it, not some of the really hardcore stuff, but I love listening. For example, Carrie Underwood. The one that you really reminded me of was Leanne Rimes. I don't know if you know Leanne Rimes. I don't think she's done anything recently, but your voice just sounded so similar to hers. I was like, oh my God, that's a very specific kind of sound, very specific kind of voice, especially for someone from the UK.
Oh, thanks. That's a huge compliment. I've seen Leanne Rimes. Love her.
Give us an insight into your music journey. I mean, obviously you don't, because you've already charted top 3 on the UK country charts. Am I right?
Yeah, top 3. Yeah, I think I came number 2. I think I was number 2 for about a couple of weeks, which was amazing.
Okay, so you don't get there.
Number 1.
There's that competitive pageant spirit. You don't get there by accident. So give us an insight into your music background, how that journey has gone from wherever you started to ending up charting to top 2, top 3, and then you've got another single coming out.
So I've done little recordings, little covers locally, but up until 2017, I was just doing little bits and bobs. I got scouted or found in 2017 after the Miss England Talent recording of me singing
Right.
Jolene. Very original, I know. And
I love that song, though.
a guy, and Stephen Manley, who's a songwriter from Liverpool, he approached me and said, I've got this song, Unboyfriendable, and I want you to record it, produce it, and release it as yours. And that was the sort of first time that I'd ever been properly on the UK country music scene. And I've been to a lot of country music festivals since then. I've worked closely with Forever British Country, and I'm still in the country scene. It's just I've not done anything since then. Now I'm trying to produce my second single, which at this time is very hard because I can't leave the house. But hopefully, once this one is done, I can concentrate on my EP, especially the end of this year. Hopefully, when things die down a little bit with appearances and things, maybe I can concentrate more on my music side. I'm trying to do both at the same time. It is quite difficult. But yeah, so hopefully I can bring out an EP, hopefully next year. So we'll see.
And did you pick the country music sort of genre from the very start, or is that sort of the one that your voice lent itself to?
So I've always had like a country tone to my voice, like a country sound. And it wasn't until my twin brother, who now lives in America, he came back for a little trip back to the UK, and he said to me, Jen, you need to listen to Carrie Underwood, you need to listen to some of this new country music because you'll love it. And the first song I ever listened to was Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood, and that was it. I was just in love, and ever since, it's all I've listened to, and all I've wanted to do is just country music. So that's why.
Wow. And are you going to stick sort of to I guess Carrie Underwood is not, maybe, I don't want to be flayed alive for saying this, but there's sort of very hardcore country, and then there's sort of country / a little bit more pop. Are you going down the sort of the more country / pop, maybe more mainstream route, or are you going sort of hardcore country?
It's very much country pop that I like. I like the upbeat country as well. I do really like the whole, miserable countryside, which is more like the hardcore country, but just not all the time. I like a bit of, Carrie Underwood, a bit of Florida Georgia Line, a bit of party. Love that. It's proper summer vibes. So
yeah, sounds good to me. I think we could use more of that sort of music in the current climate. Jen, apart from pageantry and apart from music, and I mean those are two giant sort of side hustles or side hobbies to have, what keeps you sort of busy behind the scenes? So what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies? All those sorts of things.
So I work on an MOD fuel bank, and it's crazy at the minute, as you'd imagine. And I've been doing that about 2 years, but I worked there for a couple of years before that, but I had a break in between where I worked for an electrical company, and then I was a post lady for about 2 months, which was a crazy different. 2 months. Yeah, very different. But aside from that, I like to go fishing. I love shopping, as you can imagine. And I have 2 cats, which I absolutely adore with my life. And yeah, that's about it. Pageantry and music is pretty much my life. So.
For the viewers watching, I know that you can't quite see past Jen, but to the left of her on the screen is actually the most shoes I've ever had on an interview. And I did mention, we can't quite see it. I mean, the viewers can see maybe 5 or 6 pairs, but there's probably 30 pairs at a guess to the side of Jen. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I've interviewed, and this is the one I mentioned to you, Jen, Serena Ritterketti, who used to work for McDougall, and she talks about her storage unit where she has hundreds of pairs of shoes. So Jen, just talk us through your shopping habit, and in particular your shoe obsession, because I can see a lot of very interesting pieces behind you.
Yeah, some crazy ones. Yeah, there's definitely some crazy pairs of shoes there. I'm very much a bargain hunter. I like Primark, I like Boohoo, I like Pretty Little Thing. So there's loads of shoes on there. There's a lot on that are like fake versions. There's some Primark fake versions of Valentino's.
Right.
I do have a nice pair of Vivienne Westwoods. They are real and they smell like bubblegum, and I never wear them because they hurt my feet.
Why do they smell like
And there's
bubblegum?
loads of Pageant shoes. I don't know. They're just the brand. They're just the make that smells like bubblegum. I have no idea why, but they smell glorious. And then there's some Marc Defangs up there. I like to wear them for swimwear. And just loads of Pageant shoes and some crazy cowboy boots, which you probably can't see over here. But yeah, cowboy boots and Pageant heels are like the prominent shoes on there.
You've got the two extremes there. I think you got the kind. I guess they're both very fashionable if you wear them at the right time. But I guess to a lot of people, they would seem kind of polar opposites, maybe.
Absolutely.
Jen, just before we move on to the final 10 questions, and guys, I can see you watching. If you have any questions for Jen, put them in the comments below. As I've mentioned in the last couple of interviews, if you've put the questions in and I haven't got to them, it's because at the moment I can't see them. And sometimes, Jen, unfortunately, they come up after the live finishes. It's a bit of a glitch with Facebook. So maybe if I haven't got to them because it's blank for me at the moment, just put them in again. But Jen, I know that having watched your Good Morning Britain interview and then a lot of the newspaper articles that came up, that for you, weight loss was a very large component of your journey, and you lost a huge amount of weight. I think it was 50... I don't know the figures because it goes from stones to pounds to kilos.
Yeah.
But you went through a breakup that spurred you on to transform your body. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey as well?
Yeah. So I lost 8 stone, and it all started really when my ex left. We're friends now, luckily. But I just went on this crazy journey where I just thought I need to do something with my life. I need to keep myself busy, and I went to the gym and made loads of friends there. And yeah, I stuck at it for a long time, and the weight came off. And don't get me wrong, I love food. Like Jaffa cakes are life. So yeah, it was very difficult, but it was the best thing that I've ever done in my life. It just changed me, and luckily my personality didn't change. I'm still exactly the same. But just a little bit smaller, a little bit happier, and healthier, of course. And I just really hope that my story inspires others. Even if one person just turned around and was like, "Do you know what? Because of you, I changed my life and I'm happier." Then that would just make everything worth it. Oh, I want to cry. But no, that would literally just make every single thing that I've done just so much worth it.
I mean, 8 stone is a big amount of weight to lose. Can you give people watching maybe an idea as to where you started? Because a lot of the time it's overwhelming. There's so much conflicting advice. I know in your interview on Good Morning Britain, you talked about looking up stuff on YouTube, and that's great. But sometimes one video will tell you to do this, and the other video says, don't do that. That absolutely will kill you. And so how did you start? Was it bit by bit, or did you sort of go gung-ho right from the start?
Oh no, it started off as 5-minute walks in the morning, and wow. I just started to really enjoy it. To do 5-minute walk, and then I'd be like, right, I'll do a 5-minute run, and then I'd be like, you know what, I want to do a 10-minute run, and eventually got to the point where I could run for 40 minutes. And I mean, I haven't done that in a long time, but it got to the point where I could run for 40 minutes, and it wasn't even like, oh, look at me, I can run for 40 minutes. It was like, wow, I have stuck to something and finally achieved something that I've never done in my life. And it's just about consistency and persistence, and just keep building up and just keep at it. And you really do. If you put your mind to something, you really can achieve something. And yeah, it was hard, but so worth it.
How did it change the way you felt about yourself, if it did at all? I mean, the outside people can see, and people sometimes are a little too interested in the outside, I feel. just in terms of how it made you feel about yourself, or the level of respect or pride you felt in yourself, did it change that at all?
Yeah, I guess a lot when I was younger, and I never saw, especially when my ex left, I felt worthless. I felt
Mm.
like I had absolutely nothing to live for anymore. I thought nobody loves me, nobody wants me. And then when I started to work out and feel better about myself, I thought, do you know what? You are an amazing human. You can do things that you never thought you could ever do. And I lived on my own for a long time, and I started to really appreciate myself, and I started to
Wow.
really feel like I belong. And it was an incredible feeling waking up one day and being like, you are Jen Atkin. Like, look what you have achieved. And yeah, it was a good feeling when people would say to me, do you know, Jen, you are glowing. Like, you look so happy. And it was all down to starting that journey, not even just losing weight, but just feeling healthier and better about myself and doing things I'd never done before. It really, really made me feel like, yeah, just not like I should feel.
Yeah.
Like, it felt me. It brought, brought myself out of my shell, and it was great.
Did you have any sort of big supports through that time when you were starting, or did you really just have to motivate yourself?
Do you know what? Well, I've got a twin brother who is an athlete in America, and he's always been active, and he was always like, if I was like, Sam, I ran for 5 minutes today, he'd be like, yeah, go get it. Like, you're doing so well. I'm so proud of you. And that really like kept me going. I always wanted to be like my brother. I lived in his shadow he's my twin, so I lived in his shadow for the whole of our lives. And he ran for Team GB, so when I won Miss GB, he was like over the moon. It was incredible. So yeah, he's been a big support for me.
Yeah. And we spoke about this on the podcast just last week, and we were talking about sometimes UK girls and also Australian girls, because you just said that you sort of woke up one day and you felt good about yourself, for want of a better word. You were proud of who you were. We had a very interesting conversation about pageant interviews specifically, where I've noticed a lot of UK girls and Australian girls as well struggle to, she said, big herself up, or to talk themselves up, or really just talk about their own achievements in a way that they didn't feel they were being arrogant. Can you just speak to that a little bit? Because I think it's so important that girls in the US, I think it's a less of a problem, but certainly in the UK and Australia, just girls being able to actually be proud of who they are, love who they are, and speak about what they actually have achieved, because I think it's super important to hear.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And confidence is one of them things that occasionally can come across as arrogance. For Oh, I'm so sorry. My boss was ringing me. Sorry.
That's okay.
But no, it can. But you should. Oh no, he's ringing me again. So sorry. But this is more important right now. But no, confidence is such a big thing, and it's something so rare and so hard to find when you feel so low about yourself.
Yeah.
But if you wake up one day and you feel good about yourself and you use that confidence to inspire others to feel confident, then that is incredible. That is an amazing thing you can do. And confidence doesn't cost anything. And making other people feel confident doesn't cost anything. And confidence is a huge part of pageantry. It's huge. And especially as long as you stay true to yourself, if you feel confident, why not, Like, it's great to feel confident. And if I always think happiness, if you speak to someone who's happy and positive, you immediately feel happy and positive, and we should spread that amongst the world, I think.
Definitely. Okay, you've got your boss ringing, and I know we rescheduled the interview because of a work change. So what we will we'll go through... That's okay. I can't say that's ever happened before, but I'm not sure there'd be any way of stopping it. We'll go through the final 10 questions, Jen, because I always end every interview with the same 10 questions. And guys, if you've asked any questions, I still can't see them. So I'm hoping this is your last chance, but I'm hoping if you've asked them, they have come through. I just can't see them. So maybe put them through again if I haven't got through to them. But I'll take Jen through the final 10, and then I'll let her get back to her boss just to make sure that everything's okay, because obviously it's a chaotic time wherever you are in the world. So, Jen, just before we go through the final 10, I'd just like to give everyone a chance to give shout outs. So are there any shout outs or thanks you want to give to people for supporting you along your journey in life, not just in pageantry?
Massive shout out to Kat Hodge, Miss England 2009. You've been amazing. Adore the life out of you. And Saffron Hart.
All right, guys, we are back. Apologies for that. Jen's boss got super worried about her and FaceTimed her, which killed the Skype. And then I had to restart my computer because there's a bit of a glitch with streaming software. But Jen, you were in the middle of your shout outs and your thank yous, and then I think you got very rudely interrupted. So did you want to just take it from the top again? And then we'll go through to the final 10. And then guys watching, if you have any questions, whack them in the comments below so I can get them to Jen before she has to go to work.
Sorry guys, yeah, so a very shout out to Kat Hodge, Miss England 2009. She's been with me from the start, and she's just incredible. She's been a massive support for me. She couldn't come to the Miss GB finals, unfortunately, because she was quarantined in case she had coronavirus, which thankfully she didn't. And Saffron Hart, who trained me, she's got her own pageant training, which is This Is Me, if anyone's interested. And she trained me. I had 3 training sessions with her, and she was incredible. And now she's just a really great friend and a really great support as well. So yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think. Just everyone. Thank you, everyone. Love you all.
Perfect. Okay, final 10 questions. Here we go. Question 1, and it's not rapid fire, just before people seem to think it's rapid fire. You don't have to answer rapidly unless you want to. Question 1, what is your favorite word?
Oh, cake. Because who doesn't love cake? Cake. Oh, that just came out of my brain straight away. But cake is my favourite word.
I have to say, to be honest, I don't share your love for Jaffa cake, because I don't love Jaffas. It seems to be a very UK thing with that chocolate. What's that chocolate orange that you guys have over there? The one that comes apart in segments. Yes, those ones.
Oh, they're amazing.
I thought they were.
Jaffa cake is like tart, but.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Well, question 2, what is your least favourite word?
Can't. As in cannot. Because, I hate the word can't. You can do it. Don't say can't. I hate it.
It sounds like a sort of word that would set you off.
Yeah, I don't like it. Everyone can. Can is a good word. I should have said can is my favourite word. Can. Not cake.
You can have two favorite. You can have two favorite words. Question 3: in life, what gets you excited or what turns you on?
Country music. I just love country music. I love any music, to be fair. Music is just, it feeds the soul, and you can just change your mood just by listening to some great music. I love music. Yeah, and country music especially.
Absolutely agree with that one. Question 4: what turns you off?
Negativity. I very much dislike negativity. I'm a very positive person, and we all get in little moods, don't get me wrong, but even so, I just think if you are feeling negative, you should keep that to yourself, because you just rub onto each other, and everyone wants to live in a nice, positive world. So yeah, negativity, I just hate it. And just moaning for the sake of moaning, I just think positivity is just the key to a happy life.
What sound or noise do you love?
I'll tell you what that is. Popping the champagne. That is a great sound. Get them bubbles flowing.
Because it's a sign of what's to come, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love some fizz?
I was just thinking it'd be awful if you heard the sound and then you didn't get to have any. That would make me very, very sad.
That would definitely make me sad.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, what sound or noise do I hate? Oh, I hate it when my cat cries because he wants to go out. Because I just think, no, it makes me really sad. I'm like, just come love me.
That's so funny that you mentioned that, because just before we went live, my cat was being an absolute royal pain and would not shut up, just kept crying. He's been fed, he's been everything, he's fine, he just wants to cry. It was driving me absolutely crazy. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
If I could have any superpower, it would be healing. I would love to heal. Because I could just change the world. That's all I could
job? That's a good choice. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
Oh, probably a vet, because I absolutely love animals. I love helping, and I just love animals. All animals. They just make me so happy, especially cats, but dogs as well. I like dogs as well. But I'd love to be a vet. I just think it'd be a really rewarding job. I think it'd be quite upsetting, obviously, if it was something really bad, but anything to help would be great. And I like animals more than people, so.
I understand what you mean by that. What job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
That is a great question. I mean, the post lady one wasn't great, but I definitely don't think I'd like to be a bin man, although apparently the wages are fantastic. But I probably wouldn't like to do that. Nobody wants to break a nail.
Interestingly enough, I think that's the most common answer I've been given to that question, is something to do with garbage.
Oh.
It seems that no pageant girl wants to have anything to do with garbage. So you're in good company there. Question 10, so final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, this is making me want to cry. I'd really love it if he was like, you did a good job, Jen. Like, well done. That'd be great. Or if he was like, here's a lifetime supply of Jaffa cakes for your time in heaven. Go eat them all. You won't gain weight. Just go eat them all. I'd be like, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's one of the other people I interviewed said, endless sort of fountains of chocolate, and I said, and you can eat it all and not gain weight, because I think that's very, very important, because I feel that a lot of us in isolation at the moment are eating a lot of food, and we're certainly putting on weight. So it'd be great if we didn't. Jen, look, thank you for sticking with us through the technical difficulties, and thank you for your time.
Oh, I'm so sorry about all the technical difficulties. I'm so sorry, but I like to keep you all on your toes. But thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing.
It's been a pleasure. I'll keep you on the line for just a sec. I'm going to hang up with the audience. Thanks to everyone for watching, and we will speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, it's Adrian again. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com and join the launch team for our pageant review site. All you need to do is put in your email address. Thanks, and speak to you next time.